23. The third related part, 23rd Sutra, the Worldly Sutra. In Sravasti, King Pasenadi of Kosala, sitting to one side, addressed the Blessed One. Venerable Sir, how many phenomena in this world, when they arise, bring disadvantage, suffering, and discomfort to people? The Blessed One replied, Great King, there are three phenomena in this world which, when they arise, bring disadvantage, suffering, and discomfort to people. Which three? Asked the king. Great King, greed is one phenomenon in the world that, when it arises, brings disadvantage, suffering, and discomfort to people. Great King, hatred is one phenomenon in the world that, when it arises, brings disadvantage, suffering, and discomfort to people. Great King, delusion is one phenomenon in the world that, when it arises, brings disadvantage, suffering, and discomfort to people. Great King, these are the three phenomena in the world which, when they arise, bring disadvantage, suffering, and discomfort to people. The Blessed One then spoke this verse. Greed, hatred, and delusion turn one's thoughts to evil. Arising from within, they harm oneself, as fruit destroys its tree. This sutra concisely expounds the concept of the three poisons in Buddhism, namely greed, hatred, and delusion, which are considered the root causes of people's suffering and discomfort. The Blessed One uses simple and direct language to explain how these negative emotions affect people's lives, and uses a vivid metaphor to illustrate their harm to people, just as too much fruit can damage a tree. This sutra comes from Buddhist scriptures, recording a conversation between the Buddha and King Pasenadi. Let's analyze this wise teaching in depth. 1. Setting the scene. The dialogue takes place in Sravasti, a famous Buddhist holy site in ancient India. King Pasenadi, as the ruler of a country, seeks wisdom from the Buddha, demonstrating the humility of a wise person seeking enlightenment. 2. Core doctrine, the three poisons. The Buddha points out that there are three phenomena in the world that bring disadvantage, suffering, and discomfort, known as the famous three poisons in Buddhism. Greed, strong desire for material or spiritual enjoyment. Hatred, anger and hostility towards unpleasant things. Delusion, ignorance of the truth and misconceptions. 3. The power of metaphor. The Buddha uses the metaphor of fruit destroying a tree to vividly illustrate the harm of these three poisons to people. Just as too much fruit can break tree branches, negative emotions in the heart can destroy a person's body and mind. 4. Deeper insights. The importance of self-awareness. Recognizing the existence of these negative emotions is the first step in spiritual practice. The connection between inner and outer. The state of our mind directly affects our external behavior and quality of life. Direction of practice. Overcoming these three poisons becomes the core goal of Buddhist practice. 5. Universal values. Although this is Buddhist doctrine, its wisdom transcends religious boundaries. Controlling desires, managing anger, and increasing wisdom are universal goals for self-improvement. Deep reflections. Inner revolution. True change begins within. We often try to change the external environment to gain happiness, but the Buddha's teaching reminds us that true peace comes from purifying the heart. Causal cycle. The three poisons not only harm people, but also form a vicious cycle. Greed leads to disappointment. Disappointment triggers anger. Anger blinds reason, and thus produces more foolish behavior. Recognizing this allows us to better break this cycle. Wisdom of balance. The Buddha does not teach to completely abandon emotions, but points out the harm of excessive negative emotions. This inspires us to pursue emotional balance and wise control. Self-responsibility. The sutra emphasizes that these emotions are arising from within, reminding us to take responsibility for our emotions and actions, rather than attributing problems to external factors. Common humanity. Regardless of status, everyone faces the same inner challenges. King Pasenadi, as a king, also needs these teachings, demonstrating the commonality of human nature. 6. Simple yet profound. The Buddha's teachings are concise in language, but contain profound life wisdom. This reminds us that truth often exists in simplicity, and we need to cultivate the ability to perceive the profound principles contained in simple things. This sutra is not only religious doctrine, but also a mirror illuminating human nature. It invites us to delve into our own hearts, examine those emotions and thoughts that we may have overlooked, and begin a journey towards inner peace and wisdom. In this modern society full of temptations and challenges, this ancient wisdom still shines with enlightening radiance, guiding us to find inner balance and strength.